Hello, this is Francis Herdes. And in the night from the 29th of December to the 30th, you'll go into the fifth rough or holy night. It's all about friendship and connection. You are the average of the five people you surround yourself with. So in the fifth holy night, it's time to look at your friendships and look at the connections with people you have in your life. There might be very close friends, and there might be a greater circle of friendship with the people at work, with people from your hobbies, with people who are of like mind and like intention. Many times it's the family we start with, the first bonds we form with our mother, with our father as a newborn, and the relationships we experience within our family circle. Well, nowadays, many families are separated, parents divorce, so children have many different experiences growing up when it comes to relationships. And also, do the people in your surroundings, do they lift you up emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Do they also challenge you sometimes? Or do they constantly bring you down energy wise, emotionally, even physically? So let's take a look in the fifth holy night at the connections and especially the friendships around you. Many times, our closest friends, they instantly understand us. Sometimes it just takes a look, or you're in the same situation, and instantly you have that connection with your best friend, and you know exactly what that person would say or how he or she would react, and there's an instant understanding between you. And good friends, they don't only go through the good times together, but the very best friends, they are there for you when times get really tough, when times get challenging, and also when you go through challenging times or might have chosen the path that's not in the best interest for you. Your friends, they know you and you have a deep heart connection, so they are always there for you and they always challenge you as well. It's not about people who always talk in a good way or people who always talk about what you would love to hear. Sometimes friends can be challenging as well because they know you so well and because they love you as a friend, and of course they just want the best for you. So, who are the five closest people in your life? Because you will automatically become the average of those five people. Those five people, write them down in your Holy Nights journal. Do those five people have a positive influence in your life? Or do you need a few days or a few hours to get back into your own energy after you met that person? The five people you spend the most time with, write them down in your Holy Nights journal. And I don't mean the five people you want to spend the most time with, but really look realistically over the past few days and months and really realistically look at who did you spend the most time with. Sometimes it's our physical friends. Sometimes you spend the most time with one of the coaches, for example, when you listen to a lot of audiobooks or an online training, for example. That's one of the secrets of moving forward and of elevating the energy within the five people who surround you. Because the people you often listen to, you really take in all of their thoughts, all of their energy, and that's one of the insights you are gifted to gain in the fifth holy night. One thing is to look at the five people who already surround you, who you spend the most time with. What kind of qualities do they have in their personality? Are they positive people or often negative people? What kind of qualities do they have? What kind of sayings do they have? And maybe, or most probably, you already say things in a similar way like those five people, or you might behave in a similar way. And it's up to you to feel into that in the fifth holy night and really feel into yourself, into your heart, do these 5 connections really serve me? Can I really serve those people in return? Or is it a relationship that might have to end in the new year? You know, sometimes you spend a lot of time with a person where afterwards you need a lot of time to regenerate your own energy. Some people are energy vampires or even emotional empires, and they drain you of your energy. And sometimes you just realize it after the person has gone or a few hours after you met that person, what kind of influence that person had on you. There's a little secret in that as well. Mostly the energy we pick up from someone else or the thoughts and emotions, they don't immediately show up. I mean, of course, sometimes you feel it immediately. Some person has a very negative influence on you and you feel sad or depressed, or you pick up on those feelings and that energy. But many, many times, about 3 to 5 hours after you actually met that person, that energy manifests in yourself and in your energy field. So observe closely how you feel 3 to 5 hours after you met someone. Do you feel sad? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel lifted up? Do you feel joyful? Now, in the fifth holy night, in the night from the 29th to the 30th of December, it's really time to look at those 5 closest connections to you, 5 people you spend the most time with. Sometimes when a relationship doesn't work out, when there are too many differences, when there are too many arguments, it might be wise to limit the contact to that person. Or if you are running around in circles, leading nowhere, you cannot give value to that person cannot add value to your life, then sometimes it's best to just lay it low, to just not really not really deepen that connection, but to take some time off from that relationship. And then there are cases where unforgivable things have happened or things that really ended the friendship. And in that case, in the German video I just did, I remembered that exercise you can do with people where you consciously want to cut the energetic connection. People where the relationship really doesn't work out at all, has turned so negative, so destructive. There's an exercise you can do. And just to say, usually I keep the connections and see sometimes it changes over time. But in the case that you have very toxic people in your life, you imagine a golden lying 8, it's the infinity sign, and you let it circle in that golden light inwardly, and you are in one of the circles and that person is in the other circle. And really only do that with relationships or connections which have turned very negative, where you want to cut yourself free from, because it's a very powerful exercise. Don't just randomly do that, or if you just had a little argument, because that can be normal in a friendship as well. But you visualize that golden light, flowing light, like a lying 8 or like an infinity sign, and you are in one of the circles and the other person is in the other circle. And then the Archangel Michael, I hope that's the right name for the English version, the Archangel Michael, visualize how with his sword he cuts that 8 or that infinity sign in half, cutting the energetic connection to that person. When you have very, very negative people in your life and you are about to turn it around and cut those connections energetically as well, this is what you can do. The fifth holy night is really about feeling into your relationships and connections and letting go of toxic people. Sometimes letting relationships sleep that don't really serve you any longer or where you cannot serve that person. And then it's all about reconnecting with your friends, deepening the friendship. So really write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. We'll also talk about the goals for the coming month of May, because the month of May is connected to the 5th Holy Night, and here especially your goals in friendship and what kind of fun you wish to have with your friends. What kind of relationships do you want to deepen? It's also about your business and financial goals and spiritual goals. So the 5 people closest to you don't only have to be like physical people, but sometimes you spend the most time with someone virtually when you listen to an audiobook or when you do an online training. For example, if you're looking for deeper spiritual knowledge, you might want to listen to audiobooks from Wayne Dyer or from Louise Hay or other people who pass on spiritual insights, or even spiritual masters if they recorded something in audio or video. If you want to move forward in business, just as an example, because many of my friends are in network marketing, if you're in network marketing and you really want to invite positive and productive people into your circle of 5 virtually, then you might want to listen to Ray Higdon or to Eric Worre, for example. Really look at the trainers or the mentors who've already reached the goal you want to reach, because there are many so-called gurus out there nowadays who call themselves gurus, but really it's important to look behind the curtain. What kind of goals has the person already reached? Are they a little bit ahead of you, or have they reached the ultimate or the big goal you want to reach? Those are the persons you might want to learn from. And if until now you just have like normal people under these 5 you are closest to, people you just have fun with, but you don't really move forward your business together or your spiritual life, then you might want to listen to those audiobooks and really enhance your circle of influence when it comes to new ideas and moving forward with your goals. So you see, when you write down the 5 people you spend the most time with, maybe you are already listening to audiobooks every day or online trainings. And you can include that person who's giving the training to your closest 5, because you absorb all the energy and thoughts and the emotional connection when you go deeply into that training. And the 5 people you spend the most time with really shape you, and you really become the average of those 5 people. In the 5th Holy Night, it's really a good opportunity to become aware of that. Which people do I want to keep in my life? Which friendships do I want to deepen? And which ones do I want to let go of? Which ones are negative or have turned kind of cold? And that leads us to the first fragrant application. I have 3 special fragrant blends for you to strengthen your friendships and connection as well. And the first one is the oil blend Harmony. It's one of my absolute favorite blends, and I've been using it for years. I started with essential oils in 2010, and many times I just follow my nose. And Harmony is an oil blend I could take a full bath with all day. And you might have a blend as well that really attracts you so much that you could surround yourself with that all day. And Harmony is one of those for me. And I never really thought about why or what does it do. Of course, it harmonizes your energy field. But then, a few weeks ago, it really clicked. Or I realized in my head as well, why was I using Harmony so much? Sometimes we choose the oils that support us subconsciously, just like the animals go into the forest and look for the herbs that help them the best in that moment. So a few years back, I had been emotionally very reactive to many things around me. So every time something didn't go my way or something disappointed me or someone, I would get angry, and sometimes really angry. And there was one situation, it was just one situation, but a powerful one, where I had so much anger inside me that I was screaming at the person in front of me. And of course, you let that energy out in that moment, but afterwards, I felt so ashamed, and it really hurt the person in front of me. And from that moment on, that was back in 2010, I think. It was while I was traveling with one of my best friends, and that really kind of cracked the relationship. Of course, now there's two sides to that. One side is that if it's really your true friend, then of course, they will tell you the truth. Please don't yell at me. Please express yourself in a more productive way, and they will still be your friend. But sometimes you realize how many real friends you have when you go through challenging times. So, yeah, during that time, I would say I was really emotionally unbalanced. And from that moment on, I really wanted to change that with all my heart. Because you might have experienced that as well. Have you ever experienced how an emotion overrode you so much that you lost the control and that you were yelling at someone or destroying something and it didn't make you feel good? There was just this very strong emotion. And a few weeks ago I realized why I started using harmony right away, because since then many people tell me when I tell this story, "Oh, but you're the most balanced person. I could never imagine how you would burst out in anger and yell at someone." Well, that's because over the last months and years, I have been doing so much emotional clearing. Yesterday I told you about the feelings webinar. I've been doing a lot of that and subconsciously using harmony to really harmonize all that anger, all the past experiences, all the sadness and all the emotions that came up during childhood, during different relationships. So if you see yourself in that story, maybe that's why I'm telling it, to inspire you and to let you know you're not alone out there. If you're one of those reactive person when it comes to emotions, do a 30-day application with harmony. Always have it with you and really consciously decide to look at your emotions, to observe them, and to use them like fine antennae when something is wrong and you want to change it. And sometimes it's wise to communicate that emotion right away. And sometimes there are situations when you just feel tired, overwhelmed from something. Then it's good to have harmony with you and take a deep breath and calm yourself down, sleep a little bit so you are in perfect wellness again, and then you can talk about that situation later on. So that's my personal connection with harmony. I just love this blend, and it has brought a lot of harmony into my life and into my energy field as well. And with harmony, you can apply it on all of your 7 main chakras, and mainly also on the heart chakra. And then you smell it again and again. And the questions you can ask yourself for your Holy Nights journal, for the 5th Holy Night: which relationships in your life take you out of your harmony? Which relationships in your life take away your harmony? And which relationships in your life are the most harmonious? Write down the persons who you have the most harmonious relationships with, and write down the persons where there's always disharmony, where there's always arguments, and you don't really get together that well. The 5th Holy Night is really to become aware of those connections and which ones you want to deepen and which ones you want to let go. And harmony is a great connector with that. And also when it comes to relationships, Many times we fall into the trap of having expectations towards the other person. Hey, you should be more kind towards me, you should be more loving, you should be more caring, all kinds of things. Have you ever fallen into the trap of setting expectations for someone else? And in reality, the way you got to know that person, you just loved about that person how he or she has his or her freedom, how they express themselves freely, how they love you just the way you are. And then, a little bit later on in the relationship, we often fall into the trap of expectations. So, one important thing about relationships where harmony can help you a great deal with, and the other two as well, is that whatever qualities you wish to see in your friends or in your partner, really in all social connections you have in your life, those qualities you should first of all establish within yourself. You want more loving friends? Be a loving friend yourself. You want more caring friends? Be a caring friend yourself first. You want more supportive friends? Be a more supportive friend first. And you will be amazed at how your friends react when you are more supportive or whatever quality you wish to see in them. When you show that quality first, you will be amazed at how grateful your friends might be, of how they see completely different qualities within you. And sometimes it might even lead to a little friendship confession. Oh, over the last months you've been really hard on us. Or over the last months we thought we lost you somehow because we didn't feel the support from you. So be the person you wish to see in others first, and you will radiate that quality, and you will lead by a good example instead of making you sad or frustrated with wrong expectations. So that's what harmony is all about. The second fragrant application for the fifth holy night is a blend called Gentle Baby. Gentle Baby is usually for pregnant women or for newborns to strengthen the emotional bond between mothers, fathers, and their newborns, between the whole family. It's also a great oil for the healthy skin because during pregnancy the belly grows a lot and therefore the skin has to stretch a lot. And I know many women who apply Gentle Baby onto their skin because it contains very good skin oils. But of course you don't have to be pregnant for that. I just tell you the background of why Gentle Baby exists. So Gentle Baby is all about that feeling of a newborn, that feeling of being held close, that feeling of being loved, that feeling of being cared for. With whom or which people in your life do you feel that caring, that loving connection? And I will just look up the exact word because I have many of my notes in German because I always go live in the German version. So the word I was looking for that really characterizes Gentle Baby, it has different translations, and I'll just read a few here from the translator. It's the feeling of safety within a relationship. It's the feeling of concealment, protection, comfort, emotional security. So you probably get the word, the main characteristic of Gentle Baby. And which people in your life do you feel that feeling of safety with? Emotional safety, physical safety, that kind of support. Whom do you give that kind of support and feeling of safety to? Like a newborn who is being cared for by their mother or father. And how can you feel that feeling of safety within yourself? Because all kinds of relationships start with a relationship with yourself. How do you create and deepen the feeling of safety within yourself? Who do you gift safety to? And also, in which relationships do you feel that kind of safety, like in newborn? That's what Gentle Baby is for, to strengthen that feeling within yourself and also in your relationships. And then the third fragrant application for the fifth holy night, for friendship and connection. Of course, what are good friends for? Not only the sad times, not only the challenges, but to have a lot of fun. I just love to travel with my friends when we are traveling together, when we just have a fun time. I love when we work together. I love when we go running together, when we meditate together, all kinds of things. So, what are the activities that you love doing with your friends? And how can you bring more joy into the relationships with your friends? What kind of activities haven't you done for quite some time, but would like to strengthen again with your friends? Going swimming, for example, playing music together, going horseback riding together. Whatever the activity was that originally formed your friendship, or deepened your friendship, or even a loving relationship, which activities do you want to do again with your friends and deepen it? You know, in our daily lives, of course, there are always more than enough excuses not to do it. And with your family life, or work life, or busy life, you might have lost those activities with your best friends because you didn't have the time, you were too busy, or they are too far away nowadays. So what are the activities you can take up with your friends again and really have fun? And that's what the third oil blend is about. It's an oil blend I showed you yesterday in the fourth holy night. It's a blend of different flower oils which really open your heart for your heart's joy, so you can be the joyful person you wish to see in your friends. You can bring the joy and open your heart to a deep friendship. And the second part of this blend are different citrus oils, inviting the good mood into your relationships. Are you a person talking negatively or gossiping or always whimpering about how bad your life circumstances are? To a certain extent, your friends listen to you and they will support you. But after some time, it's just heavy on the relationship if there's one person who's always arguing, always talking negatively, always gossiping, always feeling sorry for themselves. So, yeah, good friends are there for as well. When I had an injury, which took quite a few weeks, I strained my ankle. I felt so sorry for myself that I didn't even realize it. I mean, physically it hurt a lot, it was really painful, but then it brought me into that energy of feeling sorry for myself all day and looking for excuses to say, oh, my poor foot, and I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And my best friends, after listening for some time, they really said, hey, don't feel sorry for yourself all the time. It's going to heal and we'll support you. So, yeah, they just had some clear words for that. And I didn't even realize I was in that I feel sorry for myself energy too much. That's what good friends are for as well. I love to go on vacation with my friends because that's the time we are closely together. We often have a house together, so each one of us has their own space, but still we are more connected. We eat together, we go on adventures together or just hang out together. And that's the time of the most beautiful transformations, sometimes the most uncomfortable transformations, because you didn't choose your friends randomly or by accident. You chose them because you have a lot in common and you also have a lot to learn from each other. And a lot you make each other aware of. So who are your closest friends that you can really depend on, that you can really rely on, and who would always talk the truth with you when you feel too much sorry for yourself. Sorry for my English today. When you feel too sorry for yourself, or you dive down into all kinds of negative talk or gossiping, who are the real people in your life who inspire you to stop that and are still your friends? That's one part of friendship as well. So if you wish to have joyful connections, be the person who brings the joy first. Be the person who brings that positive quality first. One of my friends, Kapalika, you probably know her from the videos or from different workshops. She's one of the most positive persons I know, and I hardly ever hear her talking badly. And if she is commenting on something that went wrong, it's about 1 or 2 sentences, and then she's in her cheerful mood again. And I always admire her for that she always brings on that very positive attitude. And whenever she's around, people are around her, and her eyes are shining, and she just has this very positive energy radiating towards everyone. And when she gives a workshop, people are laughing because they have so much fun with her. And I don't mean she's like a comedian or exaggerated or funny in an exaggerated way, but because it's from her heart. Who do you have in your life who radiates so much positivity that people around that person smile and are happy? You can make the start and be the person to make others happy, by making yourself happy first. And the oil blend joy, it helps you to open your heart for the joy of friendship and for the fun things as well. And also the question you can go into the fifth holy night, it's with joy, in which situations or relationship can you release a little bit more or loosen your grip a little bit on yourself and open yourself to other people, open yourself to the friendship. That's what joy helps you with as well. So just to recap, the fifth holy night, the night from the 29th to the 30th of December, is all about friendship and connection. And the 3 fragrant applications you can do is number 1, harmony. Create the harmony within yourself, the emotional balance, and ask yourself the question, which friendships in my life take away the harmony from myself? Which friendships in my life are most harmonious? Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Also write down the goals for the 5 people you wish to spend the most time with, who have a positive influence on you. The second fragrant application for the fifth holy night is Gentle Baby, to rekindle that feeling of safety, that feeling of connectedness, like a newborn to its parents. And the question here is for your Holy Nights journal, which people do you feel that feeling of safety with? Which people or which relationships do you give that feeling of safety? And how can you create that feeling of emotional safety within yourself? And the third essential oil for the topic of friendship and connection is joy. How can you bring more fun into your relationships? How can you radiate more joy and be a more positive and joyful person for your friends? Not talking negatively, gossiping, or feeling sorry for yourself all the time. So those are the 3 fragrant applications for friendship and connection. And of course, we'll go through your goals for the coming May, because the 5th Holy Night is directly connected to the month of May. And like writing the script for a movie, you write the script of your own life. So, how do you want to feel in the month of May? Which friendships do you want to strengthen? Which relationships do you want to let go of? And what's the fun in your friendships? What have been the activities that really used to deepen your friendships? And how can you do more of that in May? What kind of activities are that? What would really be fun for you and your friends? Plan it into your month of May, because May is when spring has already started, when summer already shows its first signs, and that is when you can reconnect in your friendships again and do the things that are most fun for you. So, which relationships do you want to deepen in the coming May? And how do you want to grow spiritually in the coming May? Your best friends might be your meditation partners as well. Me and my best friends, we meditate at least once a week, for example, and that's a lot of fun. And a lot of transformation as well, and peace. What are your financial goals for the month of May? You know, if you write down the goals for financial abundance, it all starts with the abundance within you. Do you have an abundance of positive, of peaceful, of joyful feelings? Joy is a good example for that. Do you have an abundance of good relationships in your life? Because these people, they support you, they lift you up, and they make your life so much more fun. And then also, what are your physical goals for the month of May? Write them down in the 5th Holy Night, where you have a special access to friendships and your deepest connections. The 29th of December to the 30th of December during the night. And I'm very grateful for everyone who's listening here, for all the connections here, for all my friends here, many people who are on here live or watch the replays. I'm deeply connected to, I have deep friendships with, and also there's your circle of closest friends. And then one more question before we wrap up. There's like a second circle or a wider circle of friendships. And one question you can ask yourself in the 5th Holy Night is also the people I work with or the people I do my hobbies together with. Do we have a good connection, a good friendship? Or you might want to change a little bit about your business connections and your business life. For example, I'm so grateful that I didn't become a doctor and work at the hospital where I'm assigned somewhere, but I can choose freely who I work with. And we do it in a fragrant way. I mean, my business is to bring essential oils into every household to inspire people to use them. And that's the most fun for me and the most purposeful thing. And on that journey, I met so many valuable people, so many fun people, so many people who give a lot of value to others. And I'm so, so grateful for that. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for our connection. And I wish you a very good 5th Holy Night. Very deep insights, strengthening your best friendships, and releasing some of the relationships to free up the energy. Let me know which experiences you have here in the chat box. And as always, you find all the Holy Nights videos on my website, francishadis.com. With that, I wish you a lot of fun in your friendships and connections. Enjoy the 5th Holy Night, and I'll see you tomorrow again at midnight Central European Time. Tune in live or comment with your friends' names, tag them so they know when to tune in here. Have a lot of fun and see you tomorrow.